Hey guys, welcome to another one of our SIT Professional series. We're sitting in today with Dean Civiter of DS Nutrition and Coaching. So he's based on the Gold Coast, doing a lot of online training, online nutrition. Hey Dean, welcome and thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great to have you here, and obviously you're an ambassador with SIP. So really excited to sort of hear about what you're doing and get to know you a little bit more. So understand you got a diploma in personal training, certified nutritionist, a level 3 award in supporting pre and postnatal clients with exercise and nutrition, and you're also a certified menopause coach. So a fair bit of education there.
A little bit there, and all kind of honed in towards that women's health. Kind of just naturally gravitated down towards that path just because of my own upbringing, really. I'm one of 8 and 5 of those are sisters, and being the youngest one of those 8, just seeing kind of what women go through growing up, it's kind of naturally led me that way.
Yeah, yep. I look at it, it's a big market, and it's so important. I think a lot of people don't understand and I'll be honest, I'm learning myself the difference between sort of like a male's routine or exercise program, and then also the difference between that and a woman's. So it's definitely a really important area. What's sort of your main focus for you and your clients? Is it sort of more in the nutrition space or the training space, and is it weight loss or general fitness?
So at the moment it's kind of naturally gone down the weight loss route. I don't know why, it's just the kind of way it's led. I feel like everyone is on a bit of a weight loss journey. Even if you are in a bit of a muscle building phase, you still need that weight loss phase to go with it. And it's just naturally, most of my clients are on a weight loss journey, whether they're menopausal or postnatal. Predominantly online nutrition, I'd say at the moment. So when I was in Melbourne, I was doing a lot of face-to-face PT as well from home. So a lot of private PT and then also online nutrition. But with the move to the Gold Coast, I wanted to try and transition to be kind of more predominantly online. Just a lot more flexible. I can get a lot more clients through, help a lot more people, because I think with that face-to-face PT it's good because at least you're getting that human interaction, but you're very limited with how many people you can help because you are just then restricted by the hours in the day. So at least with the online stuff I can kind of expand my services to more people.
Yeah, no, I've had a little bit of a look through your Instagram and been sort of following you for a wee while now and see your videos on there, and I sort of love your approach. It's very matter of fact. It's good stuff. There's no sort of beating around the bush. There's no fluffy stuff. It's just stuff that I think probably most of us, obviously females, but also males as well, can actually relate to. One that you had in particular just recently, how to get enough protein in your diet, and it's so simple, but I think for a lot of us we don't always sort of you don't know what you don't know, so to sort of have it explained from you and where you can get it and how you can get it into your diet and how you can actually use it. I thought it was a great video. I could see it being really helpful for a lot of people.
I do try to be a bit matter of fact. I sometimes have to hold myself back because I think there's a fine line between being matter of fact and just being brute. So I'm trying to find that balance of doing the right thing. But I do think, like you say, it's the small things that get missed, like just hitting your protein number. I find it easy because I know how to do it. And like you say, if you know how to do it, then it's easy. And if you don't know, then obviously it's not as easy. But I just think social media confuses the world. Social media, they put barriers in between the solution and the problem because then they can market that and make money from it. Whereas I just want to help. Like, I'm not there just to take your money and keep you coming in and giving me your money and you don't get any results. So I'm going to be matter of fact. I'm going to tell you how to get from A to B and hopefully help you along the way.
Yeah, look, it's so important, and I think that's 100% you're right. Social media, it's a confusing place. You've got so many different people spouting so many different messages, and every month there's a new message to be promoted. So just going back to basics and having like a clear path or a clear message is so important. I could just imagine a lot of people would really like that. So obviously you came from England, you're now in Australia, and when you came to Australia, sort of what was the motivation for starting this business? Why get it started?
So in England, I grew up in a very different background. My dad was a shop fitter, so very hands-on, and I grew up kind of in the building industry myself. So I was a manager for a builder's merchant. Similar to Bunnings, probably not quite as expansive, but they were the biggest builder's merchant in the UK, and I was a manager for them. So I was managing different branches. I'll generally go in, flip a branch that was on its arse, get it back up, making money, managing the team, the transport, the logistics, and then move on. So very different to what I do now. I've always been fit and healthy myself, trained from probably 16 years old, went into the gym with my friends just because they were all doing it, but I actually got seriously addicted and loved it. And then that grew into me becoming a personal trainer. And then I'd kind of always had my PT, but never used it. I may have done a couple of people on a weekend just on the side, but I always had my full-time job in the building industry. And then moving to Australia with my wife. So my wife's Australian, which is what brought me here. It was actually quite funny. We wasn't supposed to come here when we did. So my visa was in the process and I had to get here. It was actually during COVID too. I had to get here by the end of the year just to activate my visa. And then we were going to have summer in England, leave there to come and have summer in Australia. But then she fell pregnant and she said, nope, I'm not having an English baby. We're going now. Thanks, all right. So we ended up doing winter in England, landed here for winter in Australia, and it was lockdown as well. So lockdown, winter, England, lockdown, winter, Australia. So that was a great start, but it was good. So the reason I then kind of completely thought, right, I'm going to go full focus on my nutrition and training now is because I didn't want to come to a new country and just do the same thing I was doing in the UK. I felt that would be just quite a pointless move. You may as well just stay there. So I thought I'm going to come here with the sunshine. Everyone's got that kind of a little bit more of a healthier lifestyle here and I could help support that and just really hone in on what I enjoy doing. So I decided to make the move to just go full PT and nutrition.
So you got to Melbourne, you've kind of got your business started, and then you decided to sort of put your time and your efforts full time into this and away from it. So you've obviously got a bit of a business background, but how did that sort of differ to what you were doing with, and how quickly did you build your business build up?
So it was a slow, well, unintentional start, to be fair, at the beginning. So when I first came to Melbourne, I was just looking for a personal training job and I ended up getting head coach at Body Fit Training, BFT, the one in, what one did I start in? Epping. So that was good. I hadn't really, trained full-time in a gym before, so it was quite exciting, and it was group fitness, something I was quite new to as well because I'd always been one-on-one, and I actually really enjoyed it, and it just helped kind of hone in on my skills and help kind of build on what I did. So initially it wasn't me coming here and doing my own business. That came after. So as head coach at BFT, obviously they're very involved in their training, but no one does nutrition. And there was a couple of members that were speaking to me about obviously the nutrition side of things, and I was giving them information and helping them. And then I ended up taking them on as clients. And that's how it started, because once they got on with it, obviously everyone talks because it's a big community, and more people started asking me about nutrition, and I thought, okay, well, I might as well start pushing this a bit harder. And then I set up my business, DS Nutrition and Coaching, so I could take on clients and actually make it like legitimate rather than just being cash jobs all the time. And then it just grew from there. So I was only charging $50 a week then for nutrition, and those two ladies that I was just talking about, they paid me $50 cash each, and I still have the two $50 notes actually with my business registration, which I keep next to me just as a reminder, of where I started. So they're the first two $50 bills that I made here in Australia on my own business. And I just think, I think it's just a little bit of memorabilia for me.
I think that's amazing. It's something that I think you don't realise. You're always looking for that next step. You're always looking to grow, and sometimes you'd need to stop, take a little bit of a look back, and reflect on where you've come from and how far you've actually grown. Because I suppose when you're getting busy and you're always looking for that next thing or always looking to grow, it's very easy to sort of forget the path that you've taken to get to where you are.
100%. And I'm my own worst critic as well. If I'm having a slightly quiet day, then it's bad. Like, what's going on? This isn't right. This isn't normal. But then, like you say, you look back at where you actually came from, and that's the same on everything. And that's the way I try and approach my clients' nutrition journeys too. Like, they might get deflated if they've had a week that's slightly off track. Then it's like, look where you came from. You've come from binging and eating and being overweight to now consistently losing weight even off track. So just be mindful of where it was you came from.
So Dean, being a male nutritionist and a male trainer sort of in a female space, touching on topics such as pre and postnatal training and nutrition, obviously also menopause, etc. How do you find you break down that barrier and build the trust between you and the females, and is there any issues there?
Yeah, no, good question. There is always barriers, and I think there is always a bit of a standoff from, I'd say 50% of the people to begin with. Just because I'm a man, what do I know? Like, I'm not going to ever go through this. I don't, So, and I get that. So I just kind of I think I can be quite approachable. I know how to speak to people, and I know how to not break down those barriers, but reassure people. I can't, as I say, I grew up with 5 sisters. I know how to speak to females, and I know what I'm talking about when it comes to these situations. And I think the real good thing I've got in my favor is my knowledge, because it's very easy for then the client's barrier to actually drop and put some trust into me when I can tell them all the right things and tell them that this is what I can do for you and this is what I have done, and actually provide them with results that I've previously done. So yeah, might not be female, but I can still help you get to where you need to get to.
What's some an important advice that you'd give to your clients? Like if we were to sort of be one of your clients right now, what's something that you would sort of be advising most people?
Don't overthink things. That's the biggest thing I think everyone does, is they overthink things. And again, it just comes back to social media. Everyone's posting the magic recipe, the magic workout, the magic something, the magic pill, the shake, the this, and it's not needed. So I think everyone's so confused about what is it that I need to do and what works, that they're always looking for this new big thing, when it's the simple little things that are underneath all of our noses that just need to be done. Like hit your water count, get some sunshine in your life, hit your step count, eat a calorie deficit, and just a mixed, varied diet with lots of fruits and vegetables. And that is the case for every health condition, every stage of life. So pre-postnatal, in your 30s, menopause, old, young. Every single study that has ever been done on anything always comes back to a balanced diet with lots of fruits and vegetables, minimize processed foods, and adequate hydration. Every study comes back to that. So that's all we need to do. Let's keep it simple.
Back to the basics for everybody.
Basics, and then work from there. There's no point trying to find a hack if you haven't got the basics already set.
100%. Now, Dean, I have heard it through the grapevine that you're currently in training for the High Rocks event.
I am, very much so. Loving it. It's actually consuming my head.
Not an easy event to do. So do you want to just give us a little bit of a chat about what you're doing, or actually maybe what that event is, and then ultimately what you're doing for training? Because I saw it up on one of your videos the other day and intrigued me. You got some pretty ingenious ways of training for the event using different equipment. So do you want to give us a little bit of background about that event and what you're doing?
Absolutely. So High Rocks is it's an indoor event. Generally held at a local conference centre or stadium, and it consists of 8 1-kilometre runs, and in between each run there is an event to complete, and it's just all for time, so there's no rest. So 1k run into an event, 1k run into an event, so on and so forth. The events you complete, they're all pretty basic movements, so there's nothing complex. It's quite injury safe. It's not like these clean jerk CrossFit movements where you're going to pull something out. It's something that anyone can train for, but it is very high level because you're always working under fatigue. So if you think that first 1-kilometre run that you do, that's going to be the only time you're fresh, because from there you are just tired from the next thing. So training's quite big for it. There's a lot of running involved, and I'm not a runner. I've never been a runner. I've always been a little bit heavier and into my strength training. It was just lifting weights for me, and cardio was just lifting weights quicker. So that's now completely changed. I'm now running like 30, 40 kilometers a week with 2 strength sessions and 2 hybrid sessions. So a lot of skiing, a lot of rowing, a lot of walking lunges and burpees, because that's all in the event. Yeah, training for it is so fun, so fun. I was meant to do it last year, was it? Maybe the year before. And I got probably to the fittest I'd ever been. And then I herniated a disc through just wear and tear through the years of all that strength training. I wasn't actually doing anything strenuous at the time. It started off with a niggle, and being a man, I ignored it because it's just going to go away by itself, and it didn't, and it grew into my glute, and then it pushed into my hamstring, and then the bottom of my left foot was going numb. This was progressive over like 3 or 4 months. Couldn't even walk properly or bend over, so I was like, okay, maybe now I should see somebody, and I got a scan done, and then ended up needing surgery on my disc. So I had to pull out of the event, which just, yeah, now has given me the, I would say hunger, but it's more anger. I don't know. I'm training off anger because I didn't get to do it before. And that's what's making me train so hard for it. I'm absolutely loving it.
Awesome, mate. I mean, look, that sounds like a pretty heavy training schedule there. I know from myself with a triathlon background, 40Ks a week is a pretty heavy load just on itself for running there. And then if you're throwing in your weights and stuff as well. So I suppose being a nutritionist, no doubt you've got your nutrition plan down packed and probably got that under tune. But what about sort of with your hydration and stuff? Obviously, we're a hydration company. You're using our product. How has that sort of helped you with your training?
Yeah, it definitely helped massively. So yeah, nutrition is on point. I obviously have my days where not so much. But the one thing that I've found is since I've been taking SIP, my recovery is just insane now. So it's part of my daily ritual. I wake up, I'll have my SIP, then I have my breakfast, I'll wait an hour or so, and then I'll go train. And then immediately after training, I'll have another glass of your electrolytes. And since doing that, I really can feel the difference in my training, especially like whilst I'm training. Like it's day and night. I was feeling a bit sluggish, a bit fatigued, and I was obviously trying to eat all the right things and thinking, right, what am I lacking? I shouldn't be feeling like this, da da da. And it turns out it was actually just I wasn't hydrating enough. You know, I was drinking enough water, but I think I was losing more than I was drinking. But with the electrolytes, you're obviously replenishing that hydration a lot quicker, so therefore your body can work more optimal. So yeah, SIP as part of my daily routine now is a non-negotiable, and I've even got my wife on it too. So
it's great to hear, and I mean, especially obviously you being over in the Gold Coast, it's always warm, it's always hot, and it's definitely something I think a lot of people overlook is just keeping themselves hydrated, and don't always appreciate how much being hydrated does have an effect on their outcome and their ability to perform. Cool. Well, thank you very much for coming on board with us this morning, Dean. And it's been really cool to hear what you have to say, and to sort of hear a little bit about your journey from England over to the Gold Coast and the business that you've grown in the meantime. And if you want to reach out to Dean, if you want to get a little bit of help with your nutrition, reach out to him. If you want to have a follow on his page, great information there. I think he's posting kind of 2 to 3 times a week there. Some great videos, great information. And like I said, it's sort of stuff that we can all use and we can all benefit from. Yeah, really stoked to have you on board today, Dean, and thank you for your time.
Perfect. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Cheers, mate.